Adrian Connell, farm here along Minsca, alongside my parents, Ivor and Elaine, and my dad's parents, Hugh and Margaret. We run over 800 yows and 100 suckler cows across 1,200 acres, going from about 500 feet to rising over 900 feet above sea level on the top of the hill there. The suckler cows, we have Angus cross and Shorthorn cross, and we keep our best replacement heifers, keep them as replacements, and everything else we sell at stores from 10 to 14 month old, either through Lockerbie or Longtown. We fed this year, we usually creep feed about a month before weaning, just to help bring them in, and this year we tried for the first time Davidson's Deluxe 17 carb feed, and we found they took to it very well, and it helped them move on to the TMR ration when we brought them in and weaned well. The yows, we predominantly used to run blackface and swale cross yows, breeding for mule yow lambs. We're slightly moving away from that now, more towards a mule flock and Texel cross, aiming for a good commercial lamb. We've found over the past 10 years a progression towards wetter winters, although this winter seems to have changed that. It's been hard and frosty and nice, but wetter winters we found we couldn't carry the sheep on the ground, so we knew we had to do something, and that's when we invested in the slatted shed that you see behind us here. We start bringing the yows in depending on grass and the weather from mid-December onwards, and house them through to lambing time. The swales and the blackies, we still run them on the hill and graze them on the hill up until pre-lambing, and bring them in before we lamb everything inside. The yows are fed just silage and mineral in the shed, and round bale silage on the hill. And we used to feed Davidson's classic ewe rolls along with the round bale silage out in the hill through the snacker, and found the milk very well. This year we're bringing the hill yows inside as well sooner, and we're going to put everything through with the Davidson's meal, suited to the analysis of the pit silage. When we first started with the schlats, we used products from a local mill, just meal products, and mixed them together at home and run them through the TMR, but we found that the yows were able to sort through it too much and pick it out. So Laura offered the Davidson's meal, and since then we find it's a lot better. It's all the same quantity straight through, it binds to the silage really well, and you can't sort it out the same anymore. You'll find you get an even feed at the feed value. The yows this year, hill yows scanned out just slightly less at 180%, and the lowland yows scanned out just over 200%. So we need a product that milks well and keeps the yow in the condition, and we find that the Davidson's ewe rolls and the meal does this. Keeps the condition and keeps the milk on them right through. Once they've lambed, they go outside to grass, and depending on availability of grass, we top them up with the Davidson's ewe rolls out there until there's sufficient grass to keep them growing. Bringing the sheep onto the slats in the winter time, we found a number of different benefits. One of them being that we've reduced our glucoside usage down. We did have issues with trickle benzoyl resistance, and we've brought that down. We can take a fluke dose out in January, so it's given us more scope for using glucoside. Another one of the things was we wanted to reduce our feed wastage out in the hill. We knew the sheep needed fed. We fed them little and often just to try and keep it fresh, but there's always stuff got wasted. Since bringing them inside, we find we get very little wastage, and we've got more grass in the springtime for the sheep going out at lambing time, and also for the spring-born calves and cows going out to the hill. They've got a lot more grass to go up than in past years. We used to bring, before we put the slats up, we used to bring them into bedded courts, the greys and texels, and by lambing time there was always feet issues coming through, lameness, but since moving on to the slats we've very little to none at all. It's very rare to see lame sheep, so we're quite pleased with that as well. It's been a benefit to us. Tupping time, we changed the crayons at day 7 and 14, used 3 different colours. So come lambing time we go through them and pull the first colour off, and that gives us a week's worth of lambing that we bring onto the bedding. So the remainder of the yows are still on the slats, they're not using bedding, and they're still on the feed, and that first third come off into bedded courts, and we feed them the silage and meal on the bedded courts as well, and into the lambing pens, and it reduces the bedded cost of lambing time. You can lamb on the slats, and we have had the odd ones that do surprise us and lamb on the slats, but we find you have to lift the lambs fairly soon, or they would get a chill, especially on a cold night. So we find it's easy just to bring them off onto the bed and let them lamb.